Good afternoon. We are continuing with the reading of the book Three Pennies from Hell to Heaven, starting at page 40. As we walked to the payee's office at Ellis and Leavenworth Streets, 3 blocks up past Glide, I started thinking about the what-ifs. In the streets, there are always what-ifs. What if things got nasty? What if someone wanted to get physical? What if Otis was too afraid of what I said would he cower down? What if Slim had a knife or even a gun? What if Clyde got crazy, as he sometimes did in the times past? I did not know the character of Slim or his personality, but my cousin Clyde was another story. Man, I have seen him in action going 5150, and it's nothing nice. I kind of smile with the thought that it runs in the family, but I did not want to deal with his craziness today, and I knew that if it went there, it would be ugly for him, me, and Otis. How much longer we got to go before we get there, Otis? 1 more block, he said. Walking through the TL is a sight to see on paydays. Welfare, Social Security, and disability. All the hustlers were out in place, dope users and dealers, and even the Asian community, Chinese and Vietnamese, mama son. They were up and down the block trying to make a deal and buy your food stamps for about 1/3 of their value. $80 in cash for $120 worth of food stamps. They ran in packs on each side of the street as you got closer to the payee's office or the check cashing store, depending on what day of the week it was. Welfare checks were distributed on the 1st and the 15th, and the disability along with the Social Security checks were distributed on the 3rd or no later than the 5th of the month. Money in the bank is what the people of the streets called it. We finally got to the payee's office, and there were a line of people from the front door winding all the way around the block. We had to pass the front door and walk to the end of the line. As the line began to dwindle down, Otis said, "Look, Lawrence, there he is." I said, "Yeah, Otis, I see him." There he stood on the other side of the corner, right across the street from the office, staring at Otis. He was totally intimidated. He kept his head down and would not look at him. Me, on the other hand, looked right into his wicked, dark soul, right into his eyes, because I knew he was wrong, and he knew he was wrong, but he was not about to break down. My cousin owed him $300, and he was there to collect. "Lawrence, we next," Otis said. I said, "Handle your business, Otis, and when you get your cash, give it to me." Otis went to the counter to get his money, and when he finished his business, I went to him and said, "How much money you got?" He said, $400. "How much you owe Slim?" $300. "Did you talk to him yet?" "Give me $150 and sit down and wait for me." "Lawrence, I don't want no trouble. Just wait here for me. Trouble is my middle name. I'm going to go across the street. Do not walk out this door until I come back and walk with you. You got it?" "Okay, Lawrence, whatever you say. I thought you said that everything is going to be all right." "It is. You just wait here while I go and talk to Slim." I opened the door of the payee's office and walked out and stood across the street from where Slim stood on the corner. We looked at each other eye to eye. The look was a look of wonder, yet with respect. You can tell when a person have or have no respect towards you. I read it in his eyes. It must have happened on the first encounter. The old cliche still stands. First impressions are lasting impressions. The light turned green, and I walked up to him and said, "This is the deal, Slim. Otis is going to pay you $150 this month, and you get the other $150 next month." He said, "I need all my money today. I got things to do and bills to pay." I understand. We all got things to do and bills to pay, not wanting to fan the flame. Look, man, this is what's happening. My cousin should not have gotten himself into this position, but everything is going to be cool. I'm just here to help him out. Well, he's going to need some help if I don't get the rest of my money. We are going to pay you $150 today and the other $150 next month. That's the deal, man. Don't worry, you'll get it. Now, you can take the $150 or you don't have to take it, but I'm in charge of Otis's money, and that's all I'm paying out today, and that's it. He snatched the money out of my hand while walking away, cussing and saying, "This is not cool, and I don't appreciate it." I didn't make any more waves than there were waving and said once again, "I understand. You will get the rest of your money next month." He stared at Otis through the plate glass window of the payee's office, and Otis cowered his head down once again. I did not say anything at this point as he walked down the street, and I walked back to Otis. "What did you say to him?" "I did the Godfather." "What?" "The Godfather. I made him an offer he couldn't refuse." "Lawrence, he looked at me real mean." "Don't worry about that. What do you expect him to do? Smile? Let's go. You got $250. What do you want to do now?" "I want to buy some crack. I don't know which dealer I should buy from. Can you make a deal with one of them?" "How much do you want to spend?" $50. "Okay, give me $50 plus 20 for myself." "Okay, Lawrence." I could have easily asked for any amount of money from Otis, and he would have gladly given it to me. But I did not want to rob or take advantage of him. He had enough of that going on without any help from me, and the truth of the matter would be told very soon, or rather already in the process of being shown. We took our walk back to Otis' apartment in search of crack. I began to observe the dope dealers and the users trading their wares and money for dope. It was like a supermarket of sales. Who had the best dope with the best deal? I said, "Otis, let's stop and let me check out the scene of the salesman." We stood in the middle of the block, being as incognito as one could be in the middle of the scum. How incognito can you be? No one could hide in the razor. All eyes moved everywhere and anywhere at the same time, looking for threats, predators, and the police. Otis asked, "Lawrence, what are you waiting for? There are a lot of dealers out here. Just buy some crack so we can go home and smoke." My response, "Patience, Otis, patience." I wanted to make sure that whoever we were going to buy the crack from, that we would not get burned with fake dope, better known in the dope world as gaffle, and to make sure that we got the best deal. And being that I was not from the area and out of my environment, I had to make the right decision, or else it would cost us big time. Any money lost is no money gained. Getting burned always happens in the dope world, whether you are in the streets or even if you got a good connection. But being in the streets, your chances are elevated from 20% to 100%. Man, I can remember many days and nights of spending money on fake crack, not knowing the people I was buying from, mainly the youngsters. It's a terrible feeling when you lose your money being ripped off, and most times there was absolutely nothing you could do about it, because by the time you got home and found out after burning the dope on the screen, the person who sold it to you was long gone. "Lawrence, what are you looking for?" Otis said. Silence was my reply as I intently observed the dealers serving crack. "Hey, OG, old gangster, I got it for you real good," were the echoes of the voices passing by of the drug dealers, males and females, trying their best to be anonymous without bringing attention to themselves from the police, uniformed and plainclothesmen, who every once in a while would drive by checking out the sites. It's an art to buying and selling drugs, believe it or not, just as it is an art to selling anything, such as cars, real estate, mutual funds, CDs, clothes, furniture, and the like. And the art of it is to get the best deal for the amount of money you want to spend. I had one simple rule that I followed when I did not know who to buy from, and it was to observe the drug users' attraction to the drug dealers. Although there were many users and quite a few dealers, the users in the know would always go to the dealers that had the best dope with the best deal. I noticed this one young dude dressed in all his hip-hop clothes and his bling, not too flashy, with Nike tennis shoes on, Jordans, that he made 5 sales within 10 minutes. I said, "Oh, okay, Otis, here we go." He had already seen me lying in the cut waiting to buy. I said, yo, dude. He said, what's up, OG? I seen you checking me out. I got the best product on the block. How much you want? I said, 50. He said, you got it. You're going to like this, and I'm going to fix you up just to make sure you come back and see me, okay? I said, okay. The exchange was B&S, brisk and swift. You got to be fast in exchanging hands money for dope because the hands can get you busted, both the seller and the buyer. If you move too slow, you can end up in jail very quickly. Otis said, man, Lawrence, that was real cool. How did you know who to go to? I said, been doing this a long time, Otis. It's called experience. Experience, time on the job brings about experience. Experience doing the same thing the same way over and over again brings about experience. Experience knowing the ins and the out. Experience knowing which way to walk and which way not. Experience knowing when to walk slow and or fast. Experience knowing when, who, and how. And with this type of experience, you would think I might find myself a job. Now, Otis, let's get something to eat and drink because I know that once we get started, or at least once I get started, I will not be going back outside. He said, why not, Lawrence? I did not respond, but I knew once I took a hit of crack cocaine and started smoking, I would become paranoid, and going back into the street was the very last thing I would do, especially in the Tenderloin. I would dare put myself in the midst of the lions in the den. They would easily sense my fear and have me for lunch. Even when I was on my own turf, sometimes I did not go back out in the streets, but for the most part, I tried desperately not to walk the streets while being high. It was not a good feeling for me. We bought some fried chicken, bread, fries, chips, cookies, and soda, along with beer, vodka, cigarettes, and most of all, cigarette lighters. The most frustrating thing to a person who is hooked on crack is not to have matches or a lighter. You had to have fire in order to melt it down and smoke it to get high. I asked him, Otis, how much money do you have left? I got $146. That's good. And I got another $200 at my payee's office, but I can't get none of that until after the 10th of the month. That's the rule. Good rule. That way you can't spend up all your money at one time. Yeah, and then I can only get $50 at a time once a week until the last week that I'm supposed to get my check. Then I can get whatever is left. So do you ever have any money left over going into the next month? Yeah, sometimes $10 or $15. Well, at least you got somebody watching over your money. The only problem is when you cash your check and you owe people for the next month. Yeah, I know. So do I. So do I. Oh, so well. If you got money coming in and you become a customer and get in the drug dealer's good graces, he starts giving you credit, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, or even more. It depends on if he can count on you to pay him his money. It can get sticky getting credit. The dope dealer ends up with almost half of your cash, and then you end up spending half of what's left on crack, and the drug dealer extends you credit again, and almost 50% of the time, if not more, in interest. The drug dealer is a bloodsucker who will bleed you dry. As we walked through the lobby, there was Mr. Lee watching us. Rather, he was watching me. He already knew Otis, but I, on the other hand, was a stranger, another cousin. The blackness of his eyes was piercing like a snake, waiting to lash out with his poisonous venom from his mouth. It was a devious look of purpose with the objective and the intent to eliminate any threat that would harm the community of the Chinese people living in the building. I was that threat. I paid no attention to Mr. Lee, but I did observe him as he observed me. Happy days are here again. It's time to get high. Happy days are not so happy for me anymore as I try to attempt to fight the demon of addiction and write my book. Being at Otis's apartment has become, in actuality, a setback. But you have setback and relapses as you try to get clean. It's a constant battle, good versus evil, evil versus good. So here I am, no job, no money, no wife, no family, but I got crack. How did it get its name? Probably from the sound of the drug when you dissolve it from its hardness to softness with the heat of the fire, and it starts crackling as you inhale it. Yeah, so that's why they call it. That's why they call it after the name of the cereal of Rice Krispies, Snap, Crackle, and Pop. Man, those were the real good old days when life was simple. A bowl of cereal with milk early in the morning, watching the cartoons of Felix the Cat, Huckleberry Hound, Quick Draw McGraw with Baba Louie, Snagglepuss, Exit Stage Right, and Yogi Bear and Boo Boo, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and Porky Pig. That's all, folks. Yeah, life was simple, plain and fun. I wish those days could come back once more. Oh, another song. Looking back on when I was a little nappy-headed boy, then my only worries was for Christmas what would be my toy. Even though we sometimes would not get a thing, we were happy with the joy the day would bring. I wish those days could come back once more. Why did those days ever have to go? 'Cause I love them so. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Stevie Wonder. Otis said, hey, cuz, I got a couple of pipes. You pick out the one you want. In my mind, I said, here I go again. Beam me up, Scotty. Star Trek. Things started out pretty peaceful. Just me and Otis getting high, smoking crack, cigarettes, drinking beer and vodka, enjoying the moment. But the moment would soon cease to be that of peace. Getting high always starts out that way, but absolutely, eventually, the devil comes in and starts a ruckus. The doorbell rang. Otis got up and asked through the intercom, who is it? Slim. Okay, just a minute. As he pushed the buzzer to open the door, he looked at me very nervously and said, Lawrence, I thought you said there would be no trouble. I said, don't worry, Otis. Ain't gonna be no trouble. Otis went to the door and let Slim in. He walked directly straight past Otis without acknowledging him. I want the rest of my money next month. I replied, you'll get your money. He sat down in the chair, pulled out his dope, his crack, cigarettes, and a bottle of vodka, along with some zigzag papers normally used for rolling marijuana and or tobacco. He set all of them down on the table and began his ritual of getting high. Everyone has a ritual of how they get high. It can be from one extreme to the next, but everyone had their own way of getting high. This was his. I watched deeply as he took the tobacco out of his cigarette, spread it into the zigzag paper, taking a piece of crack and crushed it into fine pieces on the table, and put some into the tobacco and rolled it up, lit it, and to begin gingerly pour, inhaling after a period of time, exhale. In all the years of getting high, smoking crack, I had never seen anyone go through a ritualistic ceremony as he did just to get high. I was amazed. Most folks get their crack melted down on the pipe and get high, but not Slim. He was different, and in more ways than none. Still, I would learn even more. He began to speak. So you're going to help your cousin out with his money? Well, he showed who needs somebody to help him. All these people coming around there taking his money. I said, you included. He said, he owes me. I may get some of his money, but I make sure he gets something in return. Ain't that right, Otis? Otis replied, yes, Slim. He could not even look him in the eye. He had Otis cowered down. That's just the way it was. King of, like a prison. Someone got you buffaloed, scared, and you dare not raise up. Well, I beg to differ. Kick my butt or I kick yours. Either way it goes, I ain't going to punk out no matter who the person is, because once they have their foot on your neck, they will never let up. Slim stared at Otis as he looked straight ahead. I said nothing at the time, but I would say something as time went on. Time means a lot in the streets. Timing means a lot in the street. There's a time to speak and a time to be silent. This was that time. Slim said, so how come I never seen you before? I have seen his other cousins come around, but not you. I said, well, I got some issues, and now I'm here. Yeah, it seems like every time Otis' relatives have issues. They end up here at his apartment. What relatives? The doorbell rang. Slim looked at me and said, you'll soon see. I said, see what? Otis said, who is it? The voice replied, Clyde. Okay. Slim said, yeah, you about to see. They all coming out. Otis went to the door. Clyde walked in and said, you got my money? I said, how much does he owe you? He must have forgotten that I was still around. He said, who the heck is asking? I said, me. He said, who the heck is me? As he began his descent down the hall. Slim had a smirk on his face. Clyde said, hey, Slim. Hey, cuz, I forgot that you still around. I said, how much does Otis owe you? As if I didn't already know. Otis said, $80. I said, Clyde, I need to tell you this. As I said before, I am now officially Otis's bookkeeper, and I say how much money he spends, how much he borrows, and how much he's going to pay back. No exceptions. I had to make my statement with force at the same time to reiterate it for Slim to hear. So here's $40, and you'll get the rest next month. He said, I want all my money now. Ain't going to happen. Not today. People have been using and taking advantage of Otis, and I'm here to put a stop to it. That's it. That's all. So please take these $40 and let it be the reason. I need all my money. I understand, and you will get it, but not today. Take the 40 and let's be reasonable. Okay, cousin, but I don't like this. Yeah, how well I know. What do you mean? Nothing. Let it go. But I'm sure he knew exactly what I meant, him and Slim too, that the holiday was over for them misusing Otis. Page 49, Madness. Clyde asked Slim, you got some dope for sale? Yeah, how much do you want? Give me $40. Give me $25 worth. You got it. The bell rang again. I said, Otis, I sure hope this is not someone else you owe money to. He said, I don't think so, Lawrence. Not this time. Otis asked, who is it? The voice on the other end said, it's Dave. And Dave, Slim said, it's about to get crazy up in this joint with these two dudes. I said, why they got to be all that? He said, you'll see. They just like your cousin. Sorry. Otis let them both in while making introductions to me. This is my cousin Lawrence. Lawrence, this is Dave and Dave. I said, are you guys kin folks? They said no. They both stood about 6'2" and seemed to be nice people, despite. I remember seeing Dave, number one, at St. John Missionary Baptist Church, where we both grew up as young children. We never hung out together while at church, but I remembered him and his family. He did not seem to recall who I was. He said, haven't I seen you somewhere before? I said, yeah, at St. John when we were kids. He said, oh yeah, that was a long time ago. Dave number two had salt and pepper hair, extended his hand and said, it's nice meeting you. I said, it's good meeting you too. He said, Otis, we got some crack. Is it okay for us to smoke? We'll give you some. Otis said, it's okay. Y'all got your own pipes? St. John Dave said, yeah, we got our own tools. Salt and Pepper went into his backpack and broke out his pipe, gave Otis some crack, and everyone commenced to smoke. It was Clyde, Slim, Otis, me, Dave, and Dave. The atmosphere began to change as we progressively got high. Slim was looking out the window, smoking his cracked cigarettes and saying, I just don't see why these people can't get themselves together. I say, who do you mean? I mean your cousin and his friends. They always want to get high and always want what you got when they run out. That's why he owes me money. Well, that's the way it goes in the dope world. Yeah, but I just can't do it. You watch. They're going to smoke up all the dope, drink up all the drink, and then look like a lost puppy dog wanting some food. I just can't do it. You watch and see. Everyone was inhaling and exhaling, and pretty soon the devil came in. Clyde started hiding in the closet, sticking his head out every now and then and peeping out. Otis was staring at the wall with a smirk on his face, every now and then laughed. St. John Dave was walking back and forth from the front door to the back of the room, the kitchen and the bathroom. Slim said, stop walking back and forth. You're making me nervous. He just looked at him with a gaze and kept walking. He said, I told you these people crazy. I, on the other hand, was in my own world, paranoid that the police were going to come to the door at any moment. Salt and Pepper Dave was watching television, just staring at it, and then he began to stutter. Did. You know that watching too much television is not good for your eyes. Slim said, I told you these people are crazy. St. John Dave just kept pacing back and forth with his pipe in his hand, and every now and then he'd take a hit. Clyde was still peeping in and out of the closet. Otis continued with his smirk on his face, smoking crack as fast as he could smoke it. Slim was looking at everyone with the face of, I can't believe this is happening. Salt and Pepper, hey, Otis, you want another hit? Otis said, yeah, I'll take another hit. Hey, Lawrence, you want some more vodka? I said, yeah, I need something to help mellow me out. Slim said, you can't mellow out around here with all these people going crazy. The room is now filled with smoke, and I'm sweating. Heart is palpitating fast, and I'm paranoid because I'm in a new environment and never gotten high with these people before. I couldn't take it anymore. I said, Otis, I'll be back. I gotta go and get some air. He said, okay. Lawrence, we'll be right here. I said, I know you will. Clyde had a crazed look in his eyes as he peeped out of the closet and watched me leave. The elevator came, and I began to wipe my face. I did not want these Chinese people to see me sweating. I walked through the lobby, and there he was, soon to be my nemesis, Mr. Lee. I didn't say a word. I just walked outside into the garden, sat down, and began to smoke a cigarette. He passed me by and got on the elevator. I really started getting paranoid now because I just knew he was going up to knock on the door and bust everyone in the room who were getting high. The lady on the elevator with him said, I have a leak in my bathroom. You come see. I was tripping hard. I wanted to come down at least a little bit to get back to my normal senses. Finally, after about 30 minutes of sitting still, my senses somewhat came back to me. I mean, at least I was in a more calm, relaxed mode. So I got up from the patio, went to the payphone in the lobby, and decided to check on my wife and kids. They were living in Fairfield with my wife's mother, Miss Jones. Hello, Miss Jones. It's me, Lawrence. Can I speak to Loretta? Hold on. Loretta?